You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligent System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to episode 105 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. Not everything went to plan this week, and we have a couple of things to discuss, and we'll end with some questions from you, the listeners, at the end of the show. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
I hope you're both well, and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Over to Robert.
Humble Bumble. There's a sale on the Alien games this week. Go check it out.
Thank you very much. Also, if you're interested, we have a Discord you can go check out over at Bullets and Beer. You can find it either in the show notes or probably on one of our social media pages in the description. It's the home of ourselves, the Bombshell Jackets, and the guys from Down Under Over. That's Locked On Tom Clancy. Go check it out. Also, check out Mash Those Buttons Discord. Thank you very much, Rob. Anyway, let's get down to some news.
State of the game.
Luke, what has been going on in the world of The Division this week?
Nothing. There was no maintenance. No, nothing. Everybody missed all the errors and faults and deltas and Mike. Yeah, why were you giving everybody errors this week, actually, Mike? Let's get down to that issue. Why is it your fault?
I cannot comment at this time.
Do you know what I wish there was on the state of the game this week? This is one thing I will not say ever again. I wish there was a stats of Yannick. And the only stat he had was how many deltas there were.
Did he? I haven't watched State of the Game yet. Did he actually have a stat for how many delta errors there'd been?
No, I wish they did.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Rob, maybe you should tweet Yannick after we've finished recording the show and say, "Hey, where's stats with Yannick? How many deltas there were?" So
well, we know Petter listens to the show, so next week or whenever the GE finishes, that's when they normally do the stat.
Well,
so Petter,
well,
please.
Rob, I can tell you right now that the global event has been extended, so it will now finish on Monday, May the 7th.
Lush.
Woo!
I've got extra days to finish my commendations.
Those three commendations.
How many commendations have you done thus far, Rob? Bearing in mind we haven't...
17 out of 18.
Right, that's bearing in mind that we haven't played today, which is Thursday. So you
played 2 nights.
Done that in 2 nights, including Delta and Mike issues.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to raise a point. Also, 2 nights and a half day.
I didn't play at all during that half day.
He claims to have been not playing while he had a half day at work.
I didn't, because it was my son's birthday. I spent time with my son all afternoon. My parents and my sister can
vouch
for me. I did not I touched my laptop because I was had to do some.
You touched
banking.
what now?
I touched myself with. I touched my laptop because I had to do some banking when my mum was there. But other than that, I did not partake in any gaming.
Did the banking
in that half day
you needed to do have anything to do with global event credits?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, can you please stop saying touch, because you're starting to sound like Bill Clinton.
Girl Clinton? Who's Girl Clinton?
I did not have sexual relations with my laptop. Anyway, Luke, you got distracted halfway through by Rob touching his laptop.
Sorry, Luke.
Where did I get to? Oh, yes, they are also aware of the DZ1 to 3 last stand map with the no forward spawn issue. It's been reported multiple times. It is a known issue, and they are quote unquote working on it. So stay tuned for updates on that one, I guess.
Well, you and me actually had a chance to try that out firsthand last night, didn't we? Over on PC, because we jumped into Last Stand first match in a long time, I think.
First time ever on PC for me.
Ever on PC, yeah?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's good.
Did you die a lot?
Yeah, a lot. I was one of those PvEers for Last Stand last night, because I still haven't got a classified build, so I'm just massively underpowered. Every time another player found me from the other team, I might as well have just not been there. But hey, whatever. It's part of the challenge, I suppose.
A lot of nomads.
That guy running around with Pred was just murdering everybody. That seems quite powerful in Last Stand. But...
Yeah, I expect if you can tweak it just right, you can get a pretty good Pred build. Because obviously normalization kicks in, doesn't it? So you can't take your 9k classy in, even though I did. But we were just jumping in for one game to actually do the mission, so it stopped popping up.
You must go and talk to Kekic. No, I don't want to. No, but you must.
Yeah.
No.
But why would you not do skirmish instead, though?
Because we'll get slaughtered.
Yeah, did you not hear me just say I've not got a classified build?
Good point.
Come on, dude, you haven't got me enough classified pieces yet.
Well, maybe if we had a full team, Rob kind of bailed to play another game, but that's not the point.
I've done my accommodations, I'm done. See you later.
But yeah, not good. It's not good.
I'll tell you what is good, though. Blackout.
Yeah.
I feel like this global event is probably the second best of all of them. Like, 'cause the first one will always be the best just because it was the brand new shiny thing. But this one is really good fun. I know Rob's having a lot of fun with it for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of face tanking, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, but you've made yourself a new mini game, haven't you?
Oh yeah. I was shocking you guys. Shocking you guys. To be fair, I was only doing that when I was trying to do the accommodations.
Bollocks!
I was super efficient at those accommodations. I can't believe how quickly I got them done.
Are you that quick at everything?
Yeah, I can't.
Yes. Ask my missus.
Yeah, I think the one thing we can take away from it is it does feel like they've just gone for, how much fun it's going to, like, they just kind of want to chuck fun at the players at this point in time.
Which is kind of good, because I was talking to Big Beats, Boris, earlier about the next GE. I don't think it's going to be very
fun. We'll have to wait and see, because I don't think any of us have played that one.
No, we haven't. We all decided not to play it on PTS.
And wait
for live game.
Yeah, but it is good fun. I like the fact that you can actually get dedicated classifieds from the 3,000 GE credit caches, and you can choose which one. Like, it's not great. I can understand people want RNG, but this late in the game, people just want to earn their loot, don't they? So.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This late in the game, I don't think it matters, does it? Like, because the people who haven't had a chance to play them before perhaps don't want a Deadeye build, or perhaps don't want a D3 build, and the people that have played them before, a bit like Rob, if he could have, he'd have been buying Nomad caches all week because he needed Nomad gloves up until an hour ago.
Not anymore. Thank you, Boris.
I think that's the other thing as well. Is like, we've switched over to PC. We've got a couple of friends that switched over to PC. People are switching. Like, you probably find people who have upgraded to Xbox One, or maybe they were on a different platform. People are switching over to different platforms, and they're still playing the game. You see it all the time, and everyone's still looking for stuff. Everyone's like looking to hone their build, and it's really just kind of getting the last, pieces to complete all your sets now. And it's, obviously the grind's slowing down a little bit, but this, the GE is fun, and the fact like they've deployed it not for like an extra 2 days, but it's been extended to 11 days in total is amazing, really, isn't it? I mean,
even if you haven't got, even if you don't need anything, you could literally farm it for div tech as well, because the amount you get, it's literally raining div tech from those 3,000 caches as well. Like,
I don't know about you guys. It feels like literally everything you do in game now, whether it be part of a global event or not, they just chuck div tech at you. Like daily cache that you get for like killing, I don't know what it is, 10 cleaners in the dark zone. Here's 25 div tech. Doing your crafting mission objectives, whatever they are. Here's 25 div tech. Open a GE cache. Here's 25 div tech. It's pretty cool.
yeah, that's like 75 div tech that you can get per character. So that's like, if you've got 4 characters, that's a lot of div tech per day. Like, you're going to be optimized in no time.
But then it's still costing you, what, 3,500 div tech to actually get a build completely maxed out, if not
depending
more.
on how bad your pieces are. I mean, the cap on div tech's 4K, and I'm nearly there because I haven't got a classified build to roll a load of div tech at. I could perhaps spend a bit on weapons, which I'll end up doing before I stop wasting div tech. But I think they've got the economy of the GE caches right. The specific ones that you mentioned before, Mike, I think they're right. I'm not sure we need quite as much div tech being thrown at us as is being done, but you know, it depends what people have got to spend it on. Like me, I can't spend it at the moment, but somebody like Rob, who's rolled his gloves that he got an hour ago, might disagree completely. So
no, I'm constantly on. Like, I get some, I use it. I get some, I use it. I don't hoard it.
There you go. Then. Cool.
Thoughts on the masks, guys? Rob, have you got all the masks now?
I have. The panda one is awesome.
Disagree. You look like a
although I'm
twat.
currently rocking the flame one because it was the last one I got.
Nice.
I want that one. I've got what's the other one called? Is it Rictus or something?
Rictus, yeah.
I've got that one.
That's probably the easiest one to get, isn't it? Because you just have to do a mission. And not shock. Is it shock? Get shocked by an ally or something? Or shock an ally?
Something to do with that.
Yeah. I like the masks. I don't mind the panda one. That's the one I wanted out of all of them. Paul Brewer commented on last week's video. I just want to say, like, I completely understand where you're coming from. He was a bit upset.
What do you say?
With regards to the fact that they're kind of reskinned masks, and he doesn't feel like a lot of effort was put into them. I can understand that, but this late in the game, this is like, you know, you saw how many people possibly who worked on this GE. It was 2 people. Do you know what I mean? And they're building the whole GE from scratch. I mean, they probably got like some support, but if I remember what Riley had said, they had 1 dude just doing the commendations, and that was it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
When he went to see it, I'm pretty sure it was James Norris as well. He might have said, I can't remember. I know he couldn't remember his name, and he went there. So, yeah, it is a shame. But if it means there's more people working on the Division 2, you know, we've got a reveal in what, almost a month, 6 weeks.
It's like 40 something days.
Yeah,
It's like 6 weeks.
It sucks, and I understand where you're coming from, but the fact that they put new masks in there, they could have just rerun the same ones that we've already got.
Absolutely. And to be fair, the 2 that are reskinned look better with the reskin anyway. So, because the panda one is effectively new, isn't it? So,
No, that's also a reskin as well. They're all reskins.
They are, but at the end of the day, you know, we haven't had to pay for them. You know, it's free content that they didn't have to give us. You know, I don't know. It's a tricky one. Yeah, unfortunately, you ain't going to be able to please everyone.
it can't piss that many people off because the fucking terminal's full of people wearing the flaming mask or the panda mask or the Rictus mask. So, you know, if they were that upset, they wouldn't be wearing them, would they?
Yeah, if anything, they've improved on the original one. So it's, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, just before I leave that, out of the case, 3 masks being rehashed, I'm going to say that's not a bad job. 3 masks out of a whole game isn't bad. Hey, Rob.
You're going to compare it to a different game right now.
I'm not going to compare it to anything. I'm just going to say the rehashing. And
The rehashing.
Anyway,
Rehashing
we'll
2, as I like to call it.
The rehashing 2. Shout out to Rob's raid team. Anyway, did anybody... Obviously, Rob, you completed, what was it, your Nomad set?
I did earlier. Boris helped me complete that with some God Roll gloves. Thank you, Boris, again.
I think I've had about 4 pieces of D3 drop because I kind of want a D3 build so I can do some of the harder content. And Luke, you finally completed your striker set?
No,
Is that right?
No.
You did.
He's one piece away.
You're still waiting on the gloves.
Mask.
I thought you
Mask.
did. Or did you pick up
mask.
a piece?
Yeah, I picked up a piece.
Oh,
I needed a
mask.
holster. I got a holster. I got another chest and another pair of gloves. But my gloves were already God Roll striker gloves anyway. So, yeah. I'd like some tack pieces, but I'm not going to buy tack caches until I finish striker. Couldn't give a fuck about D3 or Deadeye, to be honest.
I'm going to be honest, at the minute, I don't feel like there's any point in getting tack. It's a bit tacky.
Hey.
There.
Well,
there,
we've
I
got an
said
extra
it.
week to play the GE, haven't we? So I'm going to get a load more GE credits. So, while it's available, I'm going to buy some.
Yeah, that's a very good point because I want to build all my sets. I want to have all my sets to go and do stuff. Like I said, resistance last night, but it would have been what 3 strikers and maybe a reclaimer. And let's be honest, Rob's got a full reclaimer set, but I don't think Leroy would be about much.
Take offense to that.
Which bit?
I can
Hit the
reclaim
gate, dude.
with the best of them. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it from us on GE Blackout. I think we've all enjoyed it. It's been pretty good fun, and that melee is freaking cool.
Which do you prefer, the head sploosh or the melee sploosh?
That's a difficult
Still the head split. If the melee sploosh made the enemies around the one you hit like fly backwards, that would have been awesome.
I just wish you could.
Hang on, I've got one more thing. And you know the little arc, the sparky things you get when you're running and it goes into the red.
Yeah.
Lightning.
The lightning, yeah. If that was constantly there when you were in the red running around, that would be pretty cool as well. Because you do like the Flash.
I was just going to say H&D and electronics and call them sparky.
Shh. I don't use my H&D electronics ever.
No shit.
Well, we'll find out. The challenge has been set. We'll find out, Rob.
Yep.
He's just blinking. Anyway. Yeah, I agree. I just wish you could run into like a pile of enemies and just freaking do the melee and all of them would just go exploding everywhere. That'd be kind of cool.
But then you'd be like
And when you...
Thor, I guess, maybe? I don't know.
I can deal with that.
Dude, there are certain trademarks in place that would stop you doing shit like this. You can't be the Flash and or Thor in a game that's got fuck all to do with Marvel.
You can do both.
DC.
That'd be quite fun.
Or is the Flash DC, is he?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Neither do DC. Anyway, this isn't DC hating podcast. That's a different show. Next topic. So I don't know if you guys have checked this out, but the Division 2 is currently looking for a monetization designer for the sequel.
What does a monetization designer do?
Well, I'm guessing they would be the person to actually implement microtransactions into a sequel game.
Oh.
Luke,
Well,
Can I ask Ubisoft, Ubimassive, Red Storm, whomever it is that are officially looking for this person to not employ anybody who previously worked
EA.
at EA? It's my only request for the Division 2. My only official request for the Division 2.
No, because they'd have really good experience on how not to do it, right? So that's kind of good experience.
Yeah, that's what you would garner from a person like that. Oh, absolutely.
Just do everything differently and you'd be fine.
Like we've said it before. Developers look into trends and what works and what doesn't work. And I'm gonna say this: I'm pretty sure they're aware of how badly that was. Taken.
That was a joke for anybody who's listening who's got no sense of humor. But
hey, good news for Battlefront fans. Microtransactions are coming back. Woo! Sorry. They might have fixed it.
You've been
anyway, but back to the topic at hand. Obviously when loot boxes were first introduced into the Division after, I think, Massive or somebody at Ubisoft said microtransactions would never come to the game. And obviously we have microtransactions in the game. It caused a bit of a stir with players, didn't it, boys?
No.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did we do a podcast on it?
We may have mentioned it previously, yes.
I can't remember. We've done 104 episodes now.
Almost 105.
Hey, let's finish the episode before we call it 105, right?
All right, okay.
How do you guys feel about this?
What, again?
Well, not about this, but obviously it's basically confirming we're definitely going to get microtransactions in the sequel, which is a God-given anyway, because
that's the role, that's the model nowadays, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
This is like the definition of news not being news, isn't it? Oh, there's a new game coming out with microtransactions in it. And?
Yes. But I think because of the way players took it the first time with regards to microtransactions being added, like a lot of people don't like the fact that you can't see what you're opening in the loot boxes. So obviously you spend real money to gain in-game credits that you can go obviously buy the I can't remember what they're called. You
can't see what you're getting in a Rainbow Six Siege alpha pack, and you can't see what you're getting in a Overwatch, whatever their boxes are called.
I'm not.
No, I know. I'm just saying these are other games that have got this exact same model in them. One of them is made by Ubisoft, one of them isn't.
I think Division's model is really good. It's really well done. Yeah. It's really thought out. It's the fact that you can earn the stuff in game without having to spend any money is brilliant. I don't understand. Yes.
I was going to say straight off that, how many keys have you earned this week alone just by doing the commendations? How many? It must be like 5, 6 minimum.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
To go to the vendor person and go get the loot boxes.
Yep.
I know
how it works. Yep.
But do not fear, because the job description does actually say whoever works on the game will be working on non-disruptive monetization measures for the game. So we are, we're not going to see completely different changes to what we have at the minute, I would think anyway. Which,
Yeah.
But
might apply for that job.
Yeah. You've definitely not worked at EA, have you?
No, I haven't. Okay. I have a H&D Electronics. Do you reckon that will help?
Tell them you know about the spark-ling.
We did one. We did design, didn't we? We did design. One of the subjects we did on our course was design
and business.
Yeah. So I'm almost there. Just need to do like a little course on microtransactions.
I'm pretty sure EA do an internship.
I know them very well. I've played many games with them in.
But it's like we've said before.
Send my CV.
If it's going to pay for future content, I don't mind microtransactions as long as they're upfront about it and they make it fair and it's not taking anything out of the game.
I was just going to say that. As long as it's not taking anything out of the game or anything even close to pay to win, then I'm all for it.
Do you reckon it will replace Season Pass?
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any microtransactions in Far Cry 5, but there's still season pass for that. You've still got a season pass in Rainbow Six Siege at the minute every year.
Season pass is tried and tested and basically God-given, isn't it now? If TD2 releases without a season pass, either on launch or within the first couple of months when they get the roadmap together, I'll eat my SITREP hat.
It depends how much the microtransactions are making. Like, we don't know the figures, but like for the first year of the Division, it didn't have microtransactions, did it? So,
no, but they were rolling in all that lovely, sweet season pass money, weren't they? At 25 quid a person.
But they still managed to put out 2 years of content without that.
Yeah, I was just kind of back to what Luke said. Yeah, I don't think anybody should be worried about microtransactions. I'd be more worried about the fact that the game is still are we in year 2 now? So year 3. Sorry, year 3. So fucking tired. The game is so expensive. Shut up, you. On Uplay, I had a look the other day. I think it was like £40 still for the base game.
It'll be on sale again next week.
I know it goes. I know, but it just surprises me they keep putting it back up to that price.
That's because they do that when it gets popular again. It's just financial. It makes sense.
Well, you can always go on CD Keys and see if it's on there cheap. As we're now sponsored by CD Keys.
Well done to wreck Uplay's freaking model. Good job, Mike.
It's not me. It's you. You said it. Anyway, end of microtransaction discussion for today. We'll end with an email we got from @Mike'sDumbThoughts on Twitter, and he wanted our thoughts on changing normalization in PvP for Last Stand and Skirmish. I think it might have been something we briefly spoke about on the podcast before, but Rob, do you want to give a very brief overview of what he sent in?
His email basically goes through how all his gear sets and his loadouts are set up specifically for PvP. Well, some of them are for PvP, and they do not work in the PvP modes due to the normalization restricting them because they're classified gear sets. And I think a lot of the community has this problem, which he also states. And then he goes through some possible solutions. One being remove the normalization, which I generally think is a good idea, but I wouldn't remove it completely.
Maybe have 2 servers or something for it.
Yeah. And the other thing would be which is what everyone has been shouting for, is normalize everything to 1401, which sounds like an easy solution, but I imagine there is a reason why they haven't done it so far. There's probably some reason. Which, yeah, I don't know. It might break the game because of using stuff that doesn't actually go to 1401. I don't know how it works. I don't know how the coding works. But I imagine there's a very good reason why they haven't done it yet.
Luke, I'm going to pass it over to you. What do you think, dude?
I can't really say much different than Rob, to be honest. I honestly can't comment on how I feel this works on PC because I haven't experienced it yet. I haven't got classified sets yet. I've said that already tonight, blah, blah, blah. On PS4, I was fortunate enough to have 3 characters all at level 30. So one of them I have got some skirmish builds set up there specifically for normalization. So my striker build still sits at just over 6k stamina in skirmish. I've then got another 6k striker build that's not for skirmish, it's just the DZ, because I don't like the 9k striker version. I don't run Predator in Skirmish. I'll be honest, I don't really run Predator in the DZ on PS4 either. And then all my other builds that I've got on PS4 across 3 characters really don't go in for Last Stand or Skirmish anyway. I haven't played Last Stand on PS4 for half a year, maybe longer. And stuff like Reclaimer, Sentry's Call, Firecrest, D3, I wouldn't use for Skirmish, even if you paid me to use them in Skirmish. So there's only a few builds where it affects me, and like I say, it doesn't affect me on PS4 because I'm in that fortunate position where it doesn't. I understand what Mike's Dumb Thoughts is saying, because obviously I think he's put a lot of effort into his builds. In his email, he only gives an example of one character, so I assume he's got multiple characters, but maybe he's not got multiple classified gear sets. So yes, I appreciate the problem is there. I don't know what the solution is, because like Rob says, if you normalized everything to 1401, which is the quick, easy fix, it's obviously going to break something. If it was that easy to implement, I think they'd have done it already. So whether it's that they don't want to buff gold gear in Skirmish to 1401 and then have it fall back down to 1272 outside of that game mode, I don't know what the answer to that is, but there must be a simple reason why they've not done it, because if it was as simple as we think it would be to do it, I'm pretty sure they'd just do it to shut us all up. So it's basically the long way of agreeing with exactly what Rob said.
It is annoying though, right? Because like you've got this really honed build that works everywhere else, and then when you jump into Last Stand or Skirmish, it's just like you have to swap a couple of mods over, and it just doesn't feel as optimized, I guess.
Yeah, you're not getting like the...
We've got this optimization station, and it kind of makes, like, to have a build for Skirmish or Last Stand, it kind of makes it redundant. Because everything else gets put back to... But then, I guess the classifieds were an afterthought.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's how I've always looked at classifieds. I've always seen them as like an afterthought. It was just like, well, we can't give you all new gear sets because that will take forever to balance, and this is another free update. And we don't want to give you a new gear score increase because everybody will lose their mind that they've just spent 1,000 hours trying to get a Barrett's bulletproof chest piece, and then they've got to go and do it again. So we'll just give you a gear score increase without giving you a gear score increase, and then we'll worry about it later. Which is fine, because the classified gear sets gave everybody something else to grind for. Personally, I'm not sure they've added much to the game, other than literally that, the grind. But yeah, I'd like to think that they'd got a better idea in mind for the sequel. This is something that I think could benefit from a serious amount of time spent with the QA guys and the QOL guys and whatever else,
or even ETF,
or even PTS. Just
first. I was gonna say first thing, like we have a PTS. We could try this, throw it up for a week, see if it works, see what bugs come up, come of it. He does say in his email, we've had buffs to gear pieces from World Tier 3 to 5, maybe, depending. I can't remember when we get high ends, like Savage Gloves and stuff like that. I can't remember, but they do start off quite low, and obviously, they get bumped up as you go through the world tiers. So the stats are increased through it. So how much of a difference would it make? But not just that, would it make more builds viable? Do you know what I mean? If you, because the thing is, you'd have to bump the exotics as well. It's not just the high ends, is it? You'd have to bump the exotic pieces to match it, right? So therefore, what would you bring back into the fold if you did?
Yeah, but they could just do classified versions of those, of the high end, and change. Yeah,
but they right with this late in the game. There's no point in doing that. It's too late in the game.
I know,
okay?
But what I want, okay? I want classified versions of the high ends. I want classified versions of the exotics. Why would you not do that? You've done the gear sets
because they knew the sequel was coming out, so they're just like balls to it.
Oh, God damn it.
I don't think it's that. I don't think there's enough time, is there? There's not enough time. But I agree with what he's saying. Is I do think normalization needs to happen. It's like we don't have enough loadouts. Not everybody has like 3 characters. Not everybody has all the sets and things like that. So and the other thing as well, like you can't rely on like high ends and stuff like that to be worried about because people are going to be running Nomad, Pred, and Strikers anyway. So do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
All right, Rock.
Reading through Mike's email, he does make a very good point as to why you wouldn't normalize everything to 1401, and maybe that is, as Mike's put it, if people hate the meta of the Dark Zone, so your Pred, your Nomad, your Striker, Skirmish and Last Stand give you that PvP option that's not necessarily based on those metas, because you can't always get them to work. So it is a different feel of PvP, which is a thought I'd never really considered before. I've just literally just read it while you guys were talking then. So
I remember when like Last Stand came out and they announced the whole normalization thing, and I remember it being a really good idea because you could have this build where you just put shit mods on and stuff like that, and you'd go in there and you'd be godlike. But as soon as the classifiers were introduced,
it killed the game mode.
It kind of killed it. A little bit.
And now, like, let's be honest, there's I understand people play that content, but there's going to be less people playing it because they have to muck around with the build. Or they have to have 2 versions.
I don't think it's a matter of mucking around the build. It's the fact that you're losing
the godlikeness.
You're losing that like easy mode, I guess. Because like if you've got a fully optimized build and you go into some PvE content and you just like shredding enemies, it feels good. But then if you go into Last Stand and you can't do the same thing because you've had to slightly change your build and it's not ideal. Like the classifieds are really, really well done. Like that you can activate certain talents even though you've still got a 9k stamina build, you can still activate certain talents. They thought about it very well and like got it spot on. But then as soon as you go into Last Stand, it messes with that and you can't activate certain talents because of that.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised more people aren't upset about those because like everyone farms for their gear. Everyone is constantly grinding for their gear and optimizing their build. And then we're going into 2 different game modes outside of the DZ. And the DZ isn't just a place for PvP, is it? It's not meant to be. They've always said that. It is an option.
PvE.
Obviously.
/PvP.
Yeah, but the main PvP modes that, everyone's... You've got PvP builds and we can't use the full extent of them in those modes. And
you can. You just have to specifically build for them, don't you? If you...
But we shouldn't have to. Let's be honest. If we had more space, more loadouts, if we had a better way of changing it, that would be possible. I completely agree with you, but we don't. And this late in the game, I don't see, why it would be so much of an issue if we, before the next update, try it. Chuck a PTS up.
It might. It might change soon people's thoughts on this because like you spend a lot of time farming div tech to get this optimized build, right? Which then just goes out the window when you hit a different game mode. If you can, because div tech is now raining from the sky, you can then just put that said div tech into another build and make it Last Stand viable, I guess. I don't know. But the fact that you spent a lot of effort and time farming said div tech to make this build the best you can make it, and then you go into a different mode and it's a bag of shit, it's a bit defeating.
No, I agree. But I think I agree with you as well. If they expand it if they expand the classified normalization up to 1401 and they increase the high ends and the exotics, I think you would end up with more, or in general, if they just increased it, like the maximum stats on those pieces anyway, you would have maybe not the diversity we had with builds before update 1.8. Was it 1.7? I can't remember which one it was when the classifiers did get introduced, but it would be better than what we have now, I think.
Or you could do, I didn't mention this in my recap, you could normalize everything to its max value, which wouldn't break the game because obviously the high ends wouldn't go to, I mean, who's using a high end build in Skirmish and Last Stand nowadays anyway? No one.
Well, that's what I said. Like it wouldn't matter if they even increased it, but I think you'd have to do that to have a leg to create more builds. Otherwise, we'd just be stuck with classifieds running around.
I don't think it'd make a difference. If you normalize everything up to 1401, everybody's just going to want to go and run the gear sets in Last Stand and Skirmish that they run in the DZ that didn't work previously in Last Stand and Skirmish, which is kind of the whole point that we're having this conversation, because Mike's exactly off that he can't use
his. Thing is though, right?
His classifieds in there, so
they might be being quite clever, and actually they might normalize them to 1401 at some point along this year, which would bring a lot of people back to the game to play said modes, because you can then use your fully classified gear in there. It might be a tactical decision not to put out yet.
But we can try it. Throw a PTS, like if anyone's listening from the team, throw a PTS up for a week. Just try it. Try it without any normalization. Try it with the normalization boosted up to the maximum stats classifieds, or boost everything up to 1401 and just see what happens and let the community give feedback. I mean, I don't know how, obviously it's not a case of pressing a button, but I'm not sure how, the normalization
I've done Mike's
works.
email. I don't know what I was about to say then.
Done it justice.
Hey?
Done it justice?
Yes, that's what I was about to say, yeah. I hope you've done it justice.
It's probably not. Anyway, thank you very much, Mike. Some thoughts. Your email.
Is that aka Naked Cowboy?
Naked Cowboy.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is. Awesome, dude. Right, a few questions before we leave. First one comes from DBS, the Division Cosplay, over on our Discord, and he asks, do you think there will be any early access for the DLCs for Division 2 for Xbox users or any other platform like in Division 1? I.e., an agreement between Ubisoft, Microsoft, or even Sony. What do you reckon, Luke?
Yeah, of course there will be.
Thank you, Rob.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name's late.
Yeah, I think there will be. I kind of hope there isn't. I'd like everybody to have the same content at the same time, but, dollar bills, y'all.
Is that because PC is the best?
I'm buying it on PS4, I've told you that.
Dead console.
I'm also buying it on PC, but I'm buying it on PS4.
Hopefully Sony get the rights this time. Because Xboxes suck.
Do you not think it'd be better served if there wasn't any, though? Like, as PS4 players, when the Division 1 came out with the Season Pass, and having to stay away from social media while everybody played Underground and everybody played Survival except us, do you not just wish that it wasn't like that for the next one? Like you've just said, if PS4 get the exclusivity, do you not feel a little bit bad
because
for
they
Xbox?
make a lot of money doing that, which gives us better content at the end of the day.
Or more content.
They would have already. This deal is already done. They would have already sold the rights for it already, because it would have helped bankroll the game.
Anyway, Congratulations, Microsoft. Next question. Deadstock Puppet asks, with players having Delta issues during the Blackout, should Massive extend the event a day or two to give everyone a fair chance at the event?
Yes.
Well, yes, definitely agree. And they delivered. If you haven't listened to the first half of this podcast, I don't know why you're listening to the end of this podcast. Please go back and listen from the start. What do you guys think Massive will do with the Shields campaign in 1.82? And what kind of activities do you think agents will have to complete for rewards? And what kind of rewards do you think we'll see in Division 2?
That's like several questions in one.
Rewards, it's going to be vanity or patches or something similar like that. It's called Shields.
I'm guessing it's going to be along the lines of a record book, aka Destiny 2 or Destiny 1. Destiny 1. Destiny 2 hasn't had record books yet. I'm sure it will because they love rehashing content.
And here we go.
We ever get a Patreon going, dude, I want you to just go, like, you've been waiting to get on a mic and just fucking
I could, dude. I could go for about half an hour, I reckon.
Oh. Dude, like, that game killed a podcast.
Yeah, they did.
A podcast?
Can't
Did it kill
good.
every Destiny podcast that came out?
I don't know. I don't know.
I doubt it.
It killed a very good friends of ours over In Orbit, and yeah.
Well, no, I think the gym helped.
Yeah, that dude looks hench as fuck right now compared to how he used to.
Shout out to Jorge. Yeah, he's been. I think he just completed the Spartan. Is it Spartan Challenge or Spartan Run? I'm not quite sure, but huge congratulations to him. Dr. Kushler asks us, do you think Massive will make some major changes in terms of gameplay, the fighting system, etc. for Division 2, or will they rather build on the status quo from the Division 1?
Yes. Gotcha.
I'm hoping for and expecting major changes to gameplay and fighting systems, to be honest. Specifically, no more chicken dancing, no more stupid server glitching movement abilities, and please let's make cover more useful.
I don't really care as long as the gunplay is good. That's all that matters to me.
You will care.
No, I don't care. As long as the gunplay is fun, it's fun shooting shit for hours on end, I won't care.
Like it already is?
Yeah. But then they could change it. They could completely rework it. As long as it's fun, wouldn't give a shit.
Let's be honest. It'd just be another game be the same game on a different engine. Hey, Rob.
Yeah. As long as the gunplay
for
feels,
the sequel.
you know, there's so many there's so many games out there, but like you play one and you like the gunplay. It's just they hit the sweet spot and it just feels nice. I can't explain it any other way. Like Destiny 2 is the same on PC. It's a shame about the content.
Rob was a little bit salty when we met up to start recording the podcast this afternoon, so I apologise to any Destiny fans that are stupid enough to listen to this podcast.
I know we had a rebrand this week, but we should have been called the Destiny Hating Podcast.
That is also the only apology I will ever issue to the Destiny community.
Okay, give them big props by sticking by the game. Anyway, Grilled Cheese 28 asks, you touched Rob? I didn't touch Rob.
I didn't.
Robert, you touched your laptop in different. No, you touched on different seasons of weather in the last episode. If you could each pick a weather condition, what would it be? I want epic sun. I'm trying to put two words together. Summer thunderstorms in the DC. DZ.
Are you okay, Mike?
No, I'm stupidly fucking tired.
Stroking out.
What?
Not like that.
Wow.
As in you can smell burnt toast, not as in you.
Podcast went dark.
There's liquid
quick.
coming from an orifice.
Some would say it blacked out.
Oh, God. I'd like to
Just
see
like
a
rock-
sandstorm.
Did.
Rude. There you go, Luke.
I'd like it to be autumn, I think, rather than winter or summer. I think I'd go for autumn, and then we could have some epic rainstorms, but a bit of sun just for shits and giggles. Then an agent that you actually put sunglasses onto might actually serve a purpose.
And like orangey brown leaves falling from the trees.
Nailed it. Although, it's all right talking about seasons, but it depends in what country we're in, I suppose, for TD2, doesn't it?
If it's just here, we just get rain constantly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what season you pick if it's in London.
Miserable.
Was it Cap likes to call it? Nice Grey Britain or something? Grey Britain? I don't know.
Great Grey Britain.
Yeah, I think tornadoes. I want tornadoes. That's it.
I've got a question for you two, because I was catching up on bombshell jackets today while I've been driving around, quote unquote, working. They touched on that if the sequel comes out and it is in New York still, what factions do you think would die out and what factions do you think would stay in the game?
Okay, so which ones do we have named bosses for?
Rikers,
And which ones
Cleaners,
don't?
LMB. Rioters are the only one we've currently got without a boss as such.
Bad luck rioters, you're out.
They'll all be the same ones. They'll just be frozen. That's another Bungie joke. If no one gets that, go and watch the Division 2 DLC trailer.
I think we need to end this. Apologies. Let's get the fuck out of here. Roberts!
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Send any questions or feedback to us over at sitrepradiopod@gmail.com or via the socials. Also, we post full episodes and other content, well, not really anymore, over at our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/SITREPRadio. Did I say slap? I said slash. We want to hear your thoughts, so be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion over there. Luke.
As always, you can find this podcast, if you're brave enough, over at iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Podbean, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud. You can also find links for all of these platforms and more over at mashthosebuttons.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. The podcast. That'd be awesome.
It?
Thank you.
Podcat.
It's like Top Cat, but for podcasts.
Toddcast. Toddcat?
I'll do Mike's bit because he's currently dying. If you do head over to mashthosebuttons.com, then please make sure to check out some of the other podcasts that are part of the Mash Those Buttons family.
We do live streams as well. If you're interested, check us out with twitch.tv SITREP Radio and twitch.tv/SITREP Radio Rob, because I do streams as well. Mike, you welcome. You going to talk? You still laughing?
You guys are fucking talking out over me. I just want to say, anyone that's got this fucking far in this week's show, fucking help. Thank you very much for listening to us. Also, huge thank you to the Division Elites.
Smooth.
On Facebook. If you're an Xbox player, Robert, we can't hate on Xbox players.
I can.
We're PC, and they're like relatives of Xbox.
I don't care.
You just salty they add all the content first, but to be fair, I think you'll work. Anyway, you can check them out over on the Division HQ, over on Twitter and Discord. They're a good bunch of lads, and thank you very much to them for allowing us to post our content over there. We have been SITREP Radio, the disastrous Division podcast that likes to talk about Destiny apparently several times and bash it throughout the whole of the show. So much for it being a short episode. Let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you very much, agents, for listening. As always, we will catch you next week.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.